Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. I'm still here with KMax, and we just talked about how Space Engineers changed its starting scenarios. You said that is that really that they removed this asteroid cluster from the starting menu?
Yeah, I didn't. I was trying to just dabble in maybe doing another reset, or maybe another uh, series besides the one I'm doing now. And I was looking for that one specifically, and I couldn't find it. It wasn't in there. It
I,
was
I,
I thought that they might have had, instead of just the asteroid field, like you were saying, that way back when, all you had was the possibility of having 16
I
asteroids to
think
spawn
the
in.
maximum was 16 asteroids. I could be wrong. It's
But
so long ago. But I started
yeah,
out my world, the first world that I had, again, in the first day of survival. And that was, I think, 16 asteroids, 8 asteroids, a certain amount of asteroids, and you couldn't have more.
no. And then
And
you started out with the crash ship,
yeah.
and then I liked the one where you were floating in the little yellow respawn ship that was beat up, and you were floating towards the asteroid field. And I thought even if they, we have the infinite space now for exploration, that they would still at least let you spawn, start a whole new world just with that respawn ship floating in space. But I didn't
I
find
can't
it.
remember how it was in the beginning. I think the beginning was that you had a space around you of, I think, 100, or the maximum you could get was 100 kilometers. And then they at one point changed that to this infinite space with more asteroids spawning. And I'm not sure, I think my world could do that. So I could get the more asteroids. That was a nice thing. I had this cluster somewhere in space, then a whole lot of nothing, and then asteroids again. And the first world, we talked about the worlds that I had, and the first world that I had to go when the planets came. Then I think I
Yeah.
had to switch to another world to get naturally spawned planets. People always came and said, "Yeah, why don't you just spawn in the planets?" I wanted to just have them naturally spawned so that I don't run into problems with the planets.
Yes.
Because I don't know if do you know the program SE Toolbox?
Yes, I do use that from time to time.
Yeah, I did from my first world. I started to use SE Toolbox to clean up the world and all these things, and I could have spawned the planets in that way, but then I could have had asteroids spawned in a planet and all these things, and I wanted to have a naturally spawned world with planets. That's why I
I mean, when you
changed
do
them.
the SE toolbox, I don't know if when you spawn in a planet, if you have to put in a location XYZ for it,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
if you didn't, then you would have planets spawned on top of planets,
Yeah,
spawned
yeah.
on top of planets, and
We had that
yeah, then
with this world too. In one of the recordings, I did a recording with someone, and I noticed that. Oh, should change. Close my helmet. I noticed that the Earth-like planet here, the big planet above us, was just gone.
that's right. I was just about to say that. Didn't the planet disappear?
Yeah. And I had to spawn it in again somehow, and
Oh,
that was I think I used SE
there it
Toolbox
is.
to get that back in because the I lost Mars. I lost the no I what did I lose? I lose I think the one of the other planets and the Earth-like, the moon of the Earth-like, and then everything else was there. But for some reason it was all gone. And
Huh. I wonder what caused that.
uh,
'Cause I know that there
space
was something
engineers. That's the only word that you always have to say. Then
that
the
gets just
space
thrown in there.
engineers.
It's space engineers.
Should
It's
we
a space
test
engineer thing.
something? Should we test something?
What's that?
I want to test something. Let us use the small green ship and do. Do you have enough bottles to survive a bit of a flight?
I don't have any bottles since I killed myself, so let me take a look and see if there's any bottles in
There,
here
there,
that I
there,
can.
there should be bottles that you could just grab.
I ran
Because
into something out there. Oh, there's a few things here. I can get rid of these guns.
I need interior plates.
Oxygen.
There's an oxygen blah, 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 thingamabingy. Yeah, you are taking everything. That's good.
I'm taking everything. It's all mine.
No, everything's fine. I have a lot of that stuff. That's the good thing. I have somewhere around the base is still an auto miner mining stuff.
Oh, that's right.
And let's say it
remember
that
when
way.
you-
This thing is relentless. This thing just goes at it.
Just keeps going.
Keeps going. I didn't take a look if it still has power, but it should have. It should have still have power for days.
Okay.
And
So should I? Oh, okay.
you will have to ride in an open cockpit. We will see if we can get to the planet with this, and then we take a look at the planetary base just for a bit and come up back to
That
space.
sounds great.
Let me see. Where's the auto miner?
Now this isn't the auto miner here, is it?
No. The auto miner is way more. It must be mining at the moment.
I see an RSN antenna 9 kilometers.
Yeah. That's the space. That's the space where it is mining. I saw it. Yesterday when I used Space Master to remove trash and that stuff. So it should be still there. And when we arrived here, it just came in and brought. If you want, let us just do the 9 kilometers for a second and take a look what this thing is doing. Maybe it lost power right now when I said it's still going.
To the jetpack.
I have 500 meters per second.
Oh, okay.
So that.
I've never gone that fast.
No. Yeah, you have to. Don't aim directly at the asteroid. That always.
That will always end very
very
badly.
bad. Yeah. See, now something happened to the auto miner. I don't see it anymore. There's no antenna here. That's bad. But we will have to live with it. If it ran out of power, everything's fine.
This asteroid is like split in half. Is that what I'm seeing?
Yeah.
It is. It's got a perfect.
See, the auto miner is still working here. The antenna is the auto miner. I forgot that I removed the. He's flying back now. And this thing is going at it since I started it. I don't see you, but here.
I'm right here.
This thing is flying back and forth between the asteroid and the base and destroying this thing. And now it started another layer. Oh, it even brought in uranium. That's nice. This thing is... And this will not stop. As long as it has power, it will... That's Radif or someone like that made the script, and it's so easy to set up because you can just say, okay, then you fly over to this waypoint, and then this thing. Oh, see, there's an asteroid. Now I will destroy that.
Wow, that's been a long time since this.
I don't know when I set it up. I will at one point. I will have to take a look how much energy it still has and all these things. But for now, everything works. It might be that I didn't turn off the reactor from grabbing new uranium, because usually I turn off the reactors from grabbing uranium.
Yeah.
But it might be that this thing just grabs uranium whenever it docks back at the base, and that's the thing. It does that automatically too. So it docks, unloads, flies back, and mines more. So
That's great.
iron is one of the things I don't have to really take a look at
It's
anymore.
a great way to automate stuff.
Uh, Again, the people that work with with scripts, I don't get what they are doing there, but the some of the scripts are so nice, and that's a thing I always think about. Man, you should get into that, to just be able to make very, very easy scripts. Like, I don't know, I want
I
to
mean,
have.
I would love to be able to do that. It's just understanding the language is what
Yeah.
I have the difficulty with. I'm
It's
just
it's crazy.
floating along with it.
I flew back to the
You're all
base.
the way back
Yeah,
to
yeah.
the asteroid. I'm almost there.
And again,
3 kilometers.
it has its own docking point down here. You will
See,
you
that's what
will
I want to see. I want to see it actually do the
Yeah,
docking.
we can definitely do that.
It keeps flipping back and forth to slow down and speed up.
It does that because it holds a certain amount of speed, although it could exceed the speed, because 500 meters per second, and so it has to, as far as I understand it, it has to brake constantly to not go faster, and that's why it's flipping back and forth. I don't know if that makes any difference, if it would just coast when you wouldn't have a speed mod or so. Maybe it just coasts then. But
I don't know.
it's a bit.
I mean, that's something that I've often wondered if they would ever do, is to make it so that you could set a speed instead of the thrusters going full blast every time that you press the forward key or up or direction key.
I never
And
tried to
I mean,
control space engineers with a controller. Maybe there is a way, if you have the Xbox controllers have these buttons,
uh,
that the analog buttons where you don't with with a key press on the keyboard, you always have
yeah.
full power.
I mean, the only way I can think is if you tried to fly it with the override, but that could be a little crazy. I'm sure.
That's a thing I wouldn't understand how to set up. I know that you can set the override. You can say, okay, here power. Maybe you could do something with I don't know, timers to have different amounts of. I'm not sure. It's
Yeah. The project for the future.
no. There's some engineering projects I will just not touch, because I'm playing Space Engineers for a long time. I know a lot of stuff, but I never tried some things, and I'm not sure if I really want to try some of the things. The stuff that I did now with auto welding and with setting up timers is way more than I than I understand.
It's a good experience though, and I think I don't know if this was on any of the recordings that we've made so far, but something like the corruption mod for myself would be far too frustrating for me to play, and it may be entertaining for people to watch me get frustrated, but then I would lose the desire to play because I'd be so frustrated. So there's some things that I won't do.
I lost the
But
corruption mod, not only because it did more damage than it did good for me, because I thought maybe it's a good way to have also have resources. So drones coming in, drones getting destroyed, bringing in resources. Maybe I could play around with the idea to not use drill ships or something like that. But the corruption mod did more damage than it brought in resources. That's one thing why I lost it. And my audience said the corruption mod is boring as hell.
Really?
Yeah, because it's fighting, and my audience is not an audience that wants to see me fight things. That can
I mean,
happen.
there are those audiences, but I've noticed that you are more focused on the building aspect, which is great.
Yeah, that's the thing. I know that a lot of the people in my viewers want to see me build and want to see how I think about what I build, how I build it, and that's why a lot of people had problems with going into these fighting drones and building combat ships and all that stuff. People were not interested in that, and I definitely can understand where that comes from. See, now it's so reliable. The Salvador, didn't we talk about that?
Yes.
There is your Salvador salvage team. The Again, my people didn't want to have the combat focused stuff. Building is good. Combat should just happen without mentioning it, maybe. So, okay, oh, see, combat is happening. My ship defends itself against whatsoever. That's why this EEM mod is, in my opinion, a lot better. There is combat in it, but it doesn't happen as frequently as with the corruption mod. The corruption mod.
The corruption mod is just insane
Yeah.
amount of combat that's just so OP that is a single player
Come on, let us try
just
to
trying
land on the planet, because
on the planet.
going to the planet will take a bit, and so we might want to talk on the way. So
Yeah.
it could be dangerous, so I will on my side save just to be safe.
I have total and complete trust in you.
I don't. It's going into the planet's atmosphere always is crazy. Always.
I even have my sunscreen on for the atmospheric friction.
That's a good thing. That's definitely needed. The more problems I have is with, I have installations on. I don't know if you have that. There's a
Yes, the planetary installations.
yeah,
Yes.
and it could be that on the way down we get shot at or something like that. That's a thing I
Don't wanna
mostly
have that happen.
don't want to have that happen. If the flight does take too long, I will just cut that out. But I'm trying to really speed up our arrival there. I think it was the problem with the rotors that tipped it over. Man, what a landing!
Look at that. That was smooth as silk. The
Oh
aircraft
no,
has not come to a complete stop yet,
yeah,
so I'm not
it's-
getting off.
Give me a sec. It's okay now. I turned off the thrusters. The problem is it wouldn't let me, and now I have to turn off the whole thing. I'm so
Excellent
happy
landing.
that OBS doesn't let me down on the planet here. That's
Now, you were saying that it doesn't impact your computer nearly as much as
No.
the other software you were using. So
no, it really
I might
works.
have to really look into it. I mean, I like my Hauppauge, but if OBS can give me the same
It's
the multiple track recording and control, that would be great.
That would be, yeah, it's not multiple track recording. That doesn't work in OBS. That's the only thing that I miss from the X story, that I don't get the multiple tracks for this.
Oh, you don't get the
No,
multiple audio tracks.
No,
in-
you get
oh.
one track, and that's why I had to balance you a bit, because
Oh, okay.
there is no multiple track recording. Otherwise, I would be able to just in post make you louder or quieter, and so that's But you can see that
I
something
understand.
definitely happens on the planet because this ship turned around for some reason, and I
That
don't know
is
why.
weird.
it's
I
it's
wonder if it's just like things are kind of glitchy when they're first rendering in,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah. It must be something like that. But again, the rotors were a bit wonky for a while, and that changed. Ooh, give me a sec.
yeah.
Ooh, that's something I have to cut out. I have to. I had to sneeze. That's that's always bad.
Gesundheit.
Thanks. Dankeschön.
Bitte?
Yeah, bitte. That was more the question. We used that also as a question. Who
See
German
these
lessons with
Germans.
Rabenschild?
Well, if I'm even gonna attempt it, I need to have the lessons.
It's-
Wow, this is more massive in person than it does look, and it looks massive on the small screen.
it's that was really nice, but I still have to close it, and then I have to deal with lighting and all these things. And now the problem that we will have now is that it could be that drones spawn in the area and we get attacked by it. But
Oh.
the good thing is that this elevator, these VZZ or something like that. I'm not
Oh
sure how
yeah.
this guy's called. The elevator really works well for this thing because you can go up to the flight deck and then you can go to the next level, and that works really well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have
I've been
to.
thinking about using the that elevator mod.
It's a nice thing. You are one of the guys that also uses mods
Yes,
a
I do use
lot.
mods. Not a whole lot. I try to keep closer to vanilla, but there are some mods that it makes the game so much better. The armor ramp mod and the armor panel mod and
Yeah,
the nanobot build and repair mod and things
the,
that aren't just like OP work fantastic. And there's things that I think that should be in the game to begin with,
yeah.
but we can't have everything.
The nanobot thing is something that I mainly use because I record videos. So if
Yes.
if I wouldn't have that thing, then most of my builds would take more time if I would have to weld everything up by hand. And the build and repair system makes my life so much easier because I can build stuff and then everything else is taken care of. On the other hand, and that's one thing, I need to set up an ignore color because you cannot
Oh,
make things like
temp
scaffolding, for example.
temporary stuff.
Yeah,
And
or
that's why
scaffolding.
with mine, I put it as the pure black as being my ignore color, and that's one of the colors that's on the default palette. So I just go ahead and I've selected that one. So,
I make
but
I make
and it's
special colors
the
for that I definitely
yes,
never use for anything else.
everybody seems to use pink as the grind color.
Um, that's so weird. I'm used to I my normal work is I'm a media designer, so I work in the print industry and these make stuff like don't know business cards and stuff like that. That's the
Yes.
main job I have, and we or I'm used to using magenta or pink as a color that is not usually used in things. So that is always then the color that gets used for if you want to give a sign to the guy that prints the stuff. Okay, this color is used here. Do something special with the print or something like that. And that's why I use pink for the delete color because that's a color I wouldn't use naturally for anything. So even if I would make
Yeah.
a big space pick or something like that, I wouldn't use that bright of a color then.
It's so bright.
Yeah. Where's this tree coming from? This tree shouldn't be here.
Well, you said you haven't been down here in a while, so maybe that's
Yeah,
some weeds that are coming up
it's
through.
shrubs coming through. Go away, you. No, that's not even a tree. That's one of the bushes. The problem with balancing you out makes the whole game very, very loud. The grinder is very loud. I
Yes.
hope nobody gets.
Will this
Yeah, I have to. Do we
this
have
help
to?
make that go away?
No.
Will that help?
Maybe you have to blow it up, but no, it's not going away. This thing. Yeah, okay, then I will have to live with shrubs in my cathedral. Maybe I can make don't know, something, build something around it. Dang things. Yeah, this thing was one of the things where I really wanted to go back to a planet, and that's why I wanted to have a base built on a planet. But man, you have to at one point really recognize that planetary bases and recording on the planets is just not really nice. But again, I'm getting steady 30 FPS on my recording with OBS. I'm pretty happy with this. So we might
That's excellent.
We might see more planet falls in the episodes.
That is good. And I just picked up the Charon at 5 kilometers out.
Yeah. It's
All right.
But again, that's one of the ships you made something really cool out of it, but that's a design I normally wouldn't do anything with. I'm outside, just if you know. But you can go.
Oh, there you are.
Go up. We could go up and take a look from above. There's the
Take a look from the landing deck up on top.
There's the mining bee up there. We could see.
I hope you approve of the floor modification I did there.
Oh,
I put some blocks back.
Did you color some things?
Nope. I just
everything's fine.
I gave it more of a planter.
A plant, nice. The problem is now we would have to have one on the other side too.
Yes.
Maybe a cheaty work with with the Space Master or so. I don't know. We are getting put into the same position.
We're like in one.
I can see through your eyes.
At least it doesn't kill us. I mean, there was one time when if you had 2 people in there, it would kill one of them.
That would definitely kill one of them. This.
Oh, what is that? Oh, that's the emergency assistant commercial freighter. Oh, that's from way up there.
Yeah, there's for some reason I have one thing sitting here that doesn't go away.
What's that?
This one commercial freighter there. I'm not.
Oh,
sure.
that.
But we have some civil signals around us on this hill over there. There should be something if the trash removal didn't kill it.
Well, I don't see anything. I don't see any signal or anything. All I see is the
I don't see one too. Maybe something killed it, but I got shot by. It could be that it fell prey to one of my cleanup operations. Again,
well, if it's shot at you, that's not a bad thing.
It was far away, but for example, when I searched for the Duchessa, I lost the Duchessa to the cleanup, and then I had her sit somewhere over there. And when I came back, this thing spawned in, and then nearly killed me. That was not nice.
Wow.
So
That almost sounds like when I first added the surface occupation mod, and I had been in one side of the ice lake that I have my base at, and doing some prospecting and a little bit of sightseeing. I fly away and I come back, and a base spawned just at the other side of the lake.
yeah, something like that happened to me here too. By the way,
Luckily, it wasn't one that.
the whole planetary installations and all that stuff that I installed that because I saw that in your videos and it worked out well for you. So that's why I brought that in. I like the idea of
Oh,
having
awesome.
stuff around. Then this enemy thing came from Splitsy. I know that Splitsy uses something different
Oh yes,
to have the enemy installations that spawn in drones and so on.
well, it's a script, and you have to attach a programming block to the actual pirate base.
Okay.
And then you put you load the script, and then you can edit how often it updates the antenna range, what the minimum range and the maximum range is, and what increment you want it to increase.
So these
And
things
one
then show up on the at one point they just show up on the map.
Then they start, as soon as their antenna range reaches where you're at, then they start spawning and flying to you. Which is, if you've seen it in my recent ones with all the drones,
Yeah.
that's what was happening, is that I had set the antenna range to 25 kilometers, but the base is only 19 kilometers from mine. So I had a long time span for that programming block to go through the random sized increments before it actually shrunk back down and the drones stopped attacking. So it was exciting for a while.
So it at one point it just goes away again.
It goes to its maximum distance, and then it resets back to whatever you've set as the minimum distance and starts all over again. It starts a
So
random
it really comes in
increase.
waves because what I
Yes.
had here, I installed some enemy installations mod or something like that. I don't know. These enemy installations there, they just spawned all the time spawned drones that
Wow.
came in. So when one drone arrived here, got shot down, another one spawned and came in. And I think that's the normal way how it should work. That's the crazy thing that Keen and its guys seem to have implemented the drones in a way where they just spawn, come in, spawn, come in. And
Yeah.
this seems what you're using and what Splitsy is using seems to be a lot nicer, that you have waves instead of they just come all the time and
Exactly. I mean,
don't stop.
that would be, it makes for a better gameplay, I think. You have a point where you have a little bit of combat, you get a little bit of supplies and that, and then it stops. And you don't really know how long it's going to take for you to be attacked or how long the attack wave is going to be. So
Yeah, it worked.
it's actually kind of fun.
The whole supply thing seems to work out a lot better for you because, again, I thought that was what I could do with corruption. The problem for me is, and it seems it works out on planetary surfaces better because the drones just drop out of the sky and then not land, but crash somewhere. In corruption, if you use it in space, a drone that flies towards you and gets shot down will still fly towards you
It's keep flying
and
towards you,
will
or
crash into whatever you are building or crash wherever you were when the drone started to attack you. Because as far as I know, in corruption, the drones are out to kill you, the player,
yes,
and
that's what it seems.
that's not nice because then you
No.
have drones crashing into your bridges, into your newly formed builds, and you cannot hide from them.
Yes, I wish that there was some way where you could become invisible to drones by just shutting off your antenna. And then maybe if you come within a kilometer, then they kind of get a visual of you and then come after you.
Doesn't it work that way?
But as far as I know, it doesn't matter if you have your antenna on or off, they still come after you because
Okay, then it's
your location is known
yeah.
no matter what.
Then it's maybe a good way that a good thing that I turned the corruption off. But on the other hand, it's a real balance because what corruption at least did, and again, my people weren't too into the combat stuff, but it gives you something else to think about. So
Yes,
you have to be
absolutely.
prepared for something else than just building and getting more
Oh
materials.
yeah.
So I
Because
had
I'd love to build and create things, but if they're constantly getting destroyed by non-stop attacks,
yeah.
then the joy of playing is gone. So
The thing
having little waves is nice.
yeah the thing with the drones that the bases spawn, for example, is they are not as good as the corruption drones. The corruption
No,
drones. So these things
the
come
corruption drones
in,
are a
get
very
shot
big
down.
challenge.
Yeah, and the corruption drones, sniper drones sitting outside of your range shooting you, and then you have to get lasers that or guns that reach out to these things, or you have to fly something there, but they react to that. The corruption drones, one thing you have to say is the guy that makes them, he really knows what he's doing too.
Put a lot of great stuff in there.
Yeah, the worst thing that you can see is that one of these hacking things comes in, takes over your ship, attacks your own base with your ship.
That's a that's it's really
It's
um
nice to see the
it's awesome to
lasers,
see
yeah,
that, yeah, but then
but on
it's
the
not
other
awesome
hand,
to see it.
no,
No.
it's not. And
No, that's cool you could do that, but don't do that, please.
it seems that the script that you're using there is a lot more because here again in my world it's boring that these things just spawn, come towards you, get shot down, spawn, come towards you, get shot down. But if you have that in waves with different enemies, then it could be a lot nicer than this dumb spawning,
Yeah.
but it's maybe a lot more forgiving than the corruption stuff. That is
Oh, it is
just
definitely because it's using the vanilla drones, and it's just you're just changing the point at which that the base actually starts spawning the drones,
yeah.
and then it goes to prove from what I went through that even though you are way far away from the base, as long as that base still sees you because of the distance the antenna's reaching, those drones will make the journey all the way to you. It's just the same as you can see on Splitsy's videos. They will traverse over mountains and everything, and they will come and come after your base. But if you since you have so much control over how large of a increment it could increase by, what its ultimate maximum distance can be, you could set it so that you might get attacked by 3 or 4 drones and then it resets itself, and then it could be days and days before you see another drone. You can adjust it that way, or you can have it like I do, where when they start attacking, they're going to be attacking for a while.
Yeah, I might. The problem for me right now is that yeah, planetary play is at the moment not what I do. So maybe I have
No.
to find a way to incorporate that for whenever I reach Mars or something like that. I'm not sure.
See, now that would work. It just you got to look into it a little bit. There's a little pre-setup that you have to do, but other than that, it really is I think it's a great mod. It's just enough of a challenge to not be overbearing and give some supplies, give a little excitement. And
It
the only
gives
other
you
thing
gives you
is that
the
mod.
chance to make such your bulldozer thing there is pretty cool, I have to say. The idea with the pistons to use them to raise and lower the
Oh,
shovel.
the plow.
The
Yeah, the
plow, the
shovel. Oh
plow, the
yeah.
plow is the right word, I think.
And you know,
A nice thing. And um, by the way, one thing I wanted to say is you said the friction is not high enough. You're working on an ice lake,
that's true. I
so
didn't even think about that.
and they
I,
did something to the wheels on ice, so that's why maybe you had not enough friction to.
See, now I didn't even think about that. I thought that the friction was the same no matter where, but I guess not.
It's
Okay, that would
I just
explain a lot.
I watched the video where you tested it out the first time and said, does he know that the ice lake doesn't allow for a lot of friction? And I didn't want to say anything because it was, but
Ah,
I built this ice sailor because the friction was so bad on the. By the way, can I bring that up again? Because the friction was so bad on the lake that you couldn't drive a.
Ship fuel critical.
Oh, okay. Maybe.
Ship fuel critical.
No, there's
oh,
no.
oh,
Yes,
there it
yes.
goes.
No fuel.
And I didn't see anything break off. Awesome.
It doesn't have fuel because the solar panel
Fuel critical.
didn't really pick up a lot of sun. The thing with this is that is another. Oh, it doesn't have any fuel. The reactor is empty. The this is another ship that works with the vector thrust thing.
Hey, you have this on a rotor. Do
Yes,
you have
Izzy's.
Izzy's
Yeah.
solar tracking on
Yes.
there?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it works at the moment. The Izzy's had a bit of a problem, I think, after the last update. But
Really?
yeah,
Because yeah, mine's been working really well at my base.
yeah,
So
yours work. Then it might have just be. It could be the rotor thing again. I had my main problem was with the rotors that they made crazy stuff, and so all the Izzy's and this thing and my vector thrust didn't work as it should. And so these are the
those
hover
the
engines.
hover things.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was wondering what those were. It didn't look like they were partially built or anything.
No, you can. The problem is we have no power for this thing, and I don't know if I have uranium that I can stick into that. But with the hover engines, you can just hover a few centimeters, a few feet above the ground, and then
Okay.
it really feels like an ice sailor. And with the vector thrust engine, the engine in the middle uses the same script as vector thrust. You can really slide and all that stuff. It's a bit dangerous, but it works out.
But that's part of the thrill is the danger.
Yeah, that was a build that was um, uh, just for the fun of it. I really liked it. It's one of the things
Sometimes those are some of the best builds is when you just do it for the fun of it. It
yeah,
doesn't serve any purpose other than having fun.
definitely. But sometimes people want to see purpose in everything, and want to see, yeah, why do you need that? And then then you have to concentrate on things like, okay, I need to build something that I really that's really useful for whatsoever. I have to take a look. It could be that this base is out of energy, but it shouldn't be.
Really?
It
Well,
shouldn't be.
your conveyor tubes
No,
are
it's not
powered.
Yeah, the conveyor tubes are powered, but everything's fine. That's one of the things that I really liked with one of the updates they did. They extended the antenna range for the laser antenna, and now I can have a
Oh, they did.
connection.
I know
Yeah.
that they did for the small ship antennas.
The laser antennas now work over 200 kilometers, and
How many kilometers?
200.
200. Oh,
200.
fantastic.
Yes, and I
That
used
kind of makes sense.
it,
You know,
it.
considering the size of the typical uh, world that you can create. So you could have one of these on the Earth planet and be able to hit the Martian planet.
Ooh, that could be a thing that I think the Martian planet, the first world I played with planets, the Martian planet was 2,000 kilometers or so away from my Earth-like planet. So that was.
No, yeah, I think you're right. I'm mixing up
But I
hundreds and thousands.
what I used was I used a mod that made the antenna range infinite basically for the laser antennas because
Yeah,
I tried to build a wireless so with normal antennas from my Earth-like to the Mars-like planet while I was traveling there. And
I
the
remember that.
and the problem was that after the I don't know 15 beacons, I was not even close to the to the Mars planet, and then I
I know
decided
there's a
to stop somewhere, make a small asteroid base with the antennas, and it's kind of the right thing to do because laser antennas have a range of don't know at least 300,000 kilometers to not have any or not a lot of lag in the communication. So a laser antenna basically has unlimited range if there's enough power behind it. And so making it 200 kilometers, I think they should up the range there a bit. That would be nice.
absolutely.
But
I know that there was a space engineer that was on the alien world and actually created a string of satellites going to the alien moon, so that he was able to control. I think he had a ship that was up there to
yeah,
gather resources,
yeah,
and
I had
that was very
the
cool.
same with Earth-like and the Earth-like moon. Um, because the ranges of the laser antennas and the ranges of the normal antennas at that point were the same,
Yes,
or
they were.
and so I made two satellites to be able to contact Earth or Moon from wherever I was, and that spawned the idea of building something like that, a chain of satellites for the Mars-like planet, and this didn't work out. And then I got this pseudo infinite laser range something, and that was nice because then what I had to do to connect the two antennas over I think 1,000 kilometers was I had to outfit a ship in orbit of the Mars-like planet, bring a laser antenna in contact with that, with with the with the don't know station in orbit around Mars, and then have a second laser antenna on that, so I could fly over the ship over the distance of 1,000 kilometers or so, connect the two laser antennas because they wouldn't just not connect over that
Yeah, 'cause
distance.
you have to have a GPS waypoint initially, don't you?
Yeah, but that didn't seem to work at over the
Huh.
distance, I have the feeling. And so I programmed or I used an autopilot to fly a ship from from that over 1,000 kilometers, 1,200 kilometers or so. A small ship flew the whole distance via autopilot, and I waited on the other side with a jump drive. It was the coolest thing that at that point the autopilot still could do stuff like that, fly over a distance of again 1,000 kilometers without hitting an asteroid or something like that. Worked out pretty well.
That's something I haven't messed with was the autopilot because there were so many problems
It's
with it that
yeah,
I didn't even want to attempt it.
it's still broken, and there's cool mods and cool scripts for the autopilot, but at the moment, I think it's still not in the shape it should be in. Hopefully, they change that at one point.
Yeah, hopefully.
Should we
Oh,
make
right.
another break? Because now we are running really long, and I don't know how
Yes, we're
long I
really long.
can.
And I don't know how long you want to do. So
We do something. We do something. We do something. Something that how's that called? We say that we continue this at one point in your world. And then the
that
people,
sounds good.
all the people that want to have a continuation of this, again at one point, they have to come over to you to your channel.
Okay, that sounds fine.
Is that a tactic? I don't know if that works. Again, the the space engineers community is a lot older. They don't fall for stuff like that. But if you want to hear us talk more, then
Yeah, you'll have to go over and see
see
KMax's channel.
KMax's channel and then subscribe to him. Drop him all the likes that he can. And no, but I think we should do that, or one. I want to see your world at one point. That's the thing. Sometimes if I talk to people, some of the people I had in my world didn't have their own channels, and so it would be nice to continue the talk in your world, and then we have some talking,
Yeah.
some new talking points maybe that we can get, I would say. And
Absolutely, we
yeah,
can do that.
maybe that's an incentive for people to come over to your channel and say, "Hey, we want to hear more people
We want to see
talking."
the difference between what Rabenschild's world looks and what KMax's world looks like.
You have a big planetary base that makes it a lot more interesting because this, I think, in comparison, this is not.
I mean, this is large, but maybe mine is maybe you might think more complex. Maybe.
Well, you
So I have a lower
should,
hangar. I'm
I would
starting a
s-
larger hangar and
Yeah,
stuff.
I would
and
say that
multiple levels.
that definitely needs visiting. And that's the cool thing because most of the time I can't say what people have in their world. But for you, I watch your videos, so I definitely can say I want to see your world. And so we should continue our talks at one point in your world, I would say. And then we hopefully, if the people want to see more of us just talking about everything and nothing, then
Yeah,
maybe the people can come over to you and don't know, maybe we continue that in the future. Just
that'd be great.
go back and forth. We will have to see.
I mean, if you want, we could basically end this session, and then maybe tomorrow or next weekend we could get together and go onto my world, and
Yeah.
then we can continue on. Or if you want to just take a break and then we could come back and do it today, that's entirely up to you.
It's getting late here.
I'm-
That's why I'm asking. We could
See, now that's what I
definitely.
was thinking. It is getting late. You're probably getting hungry. It's time for dinner. It's
Oh, dinner time is over.
oh,
Yeah, it's
but
it's Saturday. Saturday
we've
is
been
my
doing this
whole
for a couple
breakfast
hours.
day. So I'm
So
on Saturday I normally don't get out of breakfast. So
oh, that's great. Yeah, I like that idea.
so we will do that this way. So we can make a break and then we can maybe talk tomorrow and see if we do something there or if we wait for next weekend or so that everything works out. Again, with having not such a big time difference between us, again that makes life a bit easier than eight
Absolutely.
hours.
I thought it was 8 hours. I don't know where I've gotten that from.
Yeah, 8 hours would be crazy.
Yeah.
Good people. We will end it here on the Earth-like planet, and now with OBS, just to inform my viewers, maybe we come to planets more often. The good thing is that now I don't have to be scared to get to Mars to not be able to record there or something like that. It seems OBS makes a good job there. Whoa, good people. I would say thanks for watching. And if you want to see more of KMax, then go over to his channel. Again, his stuff is a bit different from what I'm doing, because he's going the more cinematic route. That's a real thing to look out for, and yeah, see what he's doing there. Yeah, people, I hope you liked the episode. If you did, then please leave a like on the video, and I hope to see you in the next video. See ya, people, and see ya, KMax.
See ya.